Welcome to our Panther Spotlight. This is Todd Bell. We focus on Ohio Dominican men's soccer here today. And joining us now is a senior from Gahanna, Ohio, Brenton Molli. And he actually started out at Division III Otterbein, correct?
I did.
Then transferred here to Ohio Dominican and been with us now for 3 years. And first of all, thanks for the time and spending some time with us. Well, we can shake hands, absolutely. Just give me a little bit of the way the season has gone. I know you've had a couple of nice wins in the last 2 weeks, trying to get some momentum going. Those wins, over Walsh and Ashland, a great win at Ashland last week. Just kind of walk me through the start of the season for the men's team this year.
Yeah, so, past 2 seasons obviously wasn't what we want, It's sometimes how it goes, it's sometimes how it is. But, the new group of guys that came in really just changed it. And
What's been different? What did they do to come in and make it different?
Their energy, their positivity, they just, they just really brought a fire, I would say. And, I love it because we're in the locker room. You got different cultures of different people, different aspects of life, different music, obviously, and, we really just all chime together, and that's really what makes it, I feel like.
So are we talking about maybe a mixture of transfers, freshmen, players coming into the program? How difficult is that for to blend a bunch of new players together?
Honestly, it's different every year, it's different, and it depends on how well the guys mesh together and how well they connect on the field, and obviously spending time off the field helps with that.
Yeah.
So.
Has there been anybody on your team, maybe such as yourself as a senior, that's kind of stepped forward and tried to mesh this group together as well as they have?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, playing wingback my whole life and then coming to center back was a big step up for me. I would say I've never played center back before, and it was quite interesting, but I stepped into the role and, I love it. It allowed other guys to shift and play other positions, which is what we needed, honestly.
So what led to the decision to start out at Otterbein and then come over here and play for Coach Merrick?
I love Jason. Jason was a good coach, and sometimes, playing-wise, it just, driving 3-4 times a day over there was exhausting, and Willie was my club coach, so I kind of just bit the bullet and decided to stay local, or even more local, and it worked out.
So you started out, now 2 different schools have been local to the Gahanna area. Is that something you really wanted? You wanted to try and stay closer to home?
At first, my goal was always Division I. I wanted to go pro, and then, obviously being type 1 diabetic and having a lot of responsibility was a lot on my plate, and I felt more comfortable being closer.
What's that challenge been for you then off the field? The diabetic part.
Lots of I got to watch how I'm eating. I got to, my mom's always up through the night making sure I'm okay. Pre-bolusing 30 minutes before my meals to make sure if we have a hard training or a lot of running, I got to fuel my body correctly and also make sure that I'm giving myself the proper amount of insulin.
When was this something that became part of your life? How old did you?
I was 1.
Wow.
I was 1.
Wow. So, in other words, it's just been normal for you your entire life.
Pretty much.
Is there challenges on the field with it?
There can be, I deal with this with Willie sometimes before the game. I'm like, man, sometimes I'm not giving myself the proper amount of insulin, which means high blood sugar, low blood sugar, which means, I have to take the responsibility to say, Willie, put somebody else on. It's just for the better. And then, but 10, 20 minutes in, my sugar can get better, and I'll go on the field.
Interesting.
So.
Yeah, it's got to be quite an obstacle for you.
It can be.
Yeah, as well. Tell me about growing up here in the city of Columbus. I know you're in Gahanna. It's just outside. You're a stone's throw from downtown. What was it like growing up in a bigger city for you?
I loved it. I mean, growing up, I was a social bug. I rode bikes. I rode dirt bikes. I fished. I had a lot of friends in high school. I would always go to the Gahanna pool, hang out with friends. So I was just a big social bug. I loved it. I loved having a big D1 school because, I just loved being around all different types of people.
Dirt bikes, huh?
Yeah.
Any injuries?
No.
Really?
No. Well, my dad kept it away from me for a long time. And then I got to my sophomore year of high school, and he's like, all right, you're big enough, you're well off enough, you make your own decisions. Obviously, I'm more tamed right now, but once I get out of soccer, I'm probably going to lean more towards that way.
So where did the interest in that come from?
My dad.
Okay.
My dad, in my basement, rows of trophies. He used to jump rivers and sky up mountains.
Not Evel Knievel, is it?
And he took me to Wayne National Forest once to go riding, and I'll explain a funny story. I couldn't get up the hill on my ATV, so he's like, hop on. He hopped off his bike, and we're shooting up a mountain, and I'm not kidding you. I'm looking up, and I'm holding on to him, and my feet are off the quad, and I'm just holding on to him, holding on to him for dear life, and he gets us up the hill. And I'm like, okay, this is what my dad's made of. I got to live up to the standard a little bit.
Wow. How is that, if it has, or maybe you haven't thought about it, translated to playing sports on the field of play, kind of being that daredevilish?
I do. And I was a very big goal scorer in high school, but I got to college, and I was more of a cerebral player. And, you know, playing wrestling, actually, I also wrestled. Wrestling, dirt bikes. I like a lot of different music, so that plays into, you know, my style. And before the game, I'm always listening to something that'll get me going. And it just really plays into how I am as a person. You know, I want to be the best in everything I do, whether it's wrestling, dirt biking, you know, just about anything.
Well, we don't have a dirt biking major here at ODU. We don't. But so, what is the major?
Business minor in human resources.
That doesn't sound like anything that you'd be interested in at all. But how did you get into that, or think about that process?
Honestly, it just my freshman year, my major was different, and it was sports management, and I just kind of climbed towards different majors, and it just led me to business. And I like business because you can go into a variety of different things, which I love.
Have you thought about what's down the road? Have you got that ball moving just yet?
I'm more excited to learn and enjoy the process of finding it than actually finding it.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I talk with so many student athletes, and I always find it crazy that as an 18-year-old you're supposed to pick a major and figure out what you want to do in life, and sometimes it finds you, right?
Yeah.
So it sounds like you've just kind of opened yourself up to whatever it brings you.
Yeah, and I would say my mom always tells me, like, everything she has told me is right, and she's told me you will find it, and I know I will find it.
Yeah, it'll find you. All right, upcoming portion of the season for you here for the men's soccer team. I know there's again been some ups, there's been some downs. How do you level this out and try to get it a little bit more consistent right now?
I mean, Finley was not the best game. Obviously, we knew it wasn't the game. We knew we were all turned off. Willie's brand of soccer, if we can play it. If we know we can play it, it will work. But it's going to take all 24 players, even on the bench, to make it happen. His brand of soccer is not like every other coach's. His brand of soccer is playing with feet. You know, he wants the ball into feet, ball through the midfield, ball out to the wing backs, drive in, service. A lot of teams just like to play the ball over top, which isn't bad here and there. But we are a very technical and tactical team, and if we can make it happen, we have a very big chance.
Is that hard? Is that style hard for players to come in and try and adapt? If they've obviously everybody plays a little different style in high school, and I know we have a lot of international type players as well. How difficult is it for those guys to kind of learn the system a little bit?
I don't think it's hard, just because Willie has had certain players under his belt for now 3-4 years, 2 years now. The incoming players have adjusted very well. You know, Finley, I'll give it to them. You know, they're on their home field, grass field, hot day. We come off a win. We were excited. You know, that can happen, but we have to learn to turn it around now.
Yeah. Last thing for you, if you were going to talk to any other, or maybe even when you have recruits come into town, what are some of the selling points of the university that you really like in your time that you've been here? I know you don't live on campus, but you spend a lot of time on campus.
The people. It's got to be the people. One of my favorite professors, Steve, you know, he's coming out after a win against Ashland, our body's hurting, and he does yoga for us, you know. It's just like the people on campus really, really make it. That's a big one. Willie, you know, he's my coach. I love him to death. Club coach, so he makes it. I don't really have much to say about on campus because I'm not on a lot, but definitely the people is what makes it.
It's all good stuff. Well, we're looking forward to the rest of the season for you. Hopefully things will get going again, more on a consistent plane for you, and best of luck moving forward.
Thank you so much.
All right, that is Brenton Molli. He's a senior from nearby Gahanna here on our Panther Spotlight. A reminder to follow all of our social media platforms at ODU Athletics. Subscribe to Flow Sports and make sure that you can watch all of Brenton and his teammates' games on Flow College. Again, you can do that and subscribe. And also our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to that, Ohio Dominican Athletics. Thanks for being with us. This is Todd Bell on tonight's Panther Spotlight.